September 1st, 2015, Jeff Mizanskey walks out to freedom into the arms of family and friends. We share this unlikely anniversary with you yesterday, and tonight Jeff Mizanskey is our guest for this week. I start our conversation by asking him how this past year has been on the outside.
Kind of crazy. It's been like a whirlwind, for real. I mean, I've been quite a few places. Vegas, Michigan, Washington, D.C., Seattle.
You even left the country?
Even left the country. I went out on a cruise, went on a liner. It was called Freedom. And
was that intentional?
You know, I don't know. I didn't book it. All I know is we ended up there. I looked up and there it was. It was kind of shocking.
And your parole officer is okay with you making these trips?
Yes, I don't do anything without letting my parole officer know well in advance. He knows that I'm trying to do things the right way, following the law, trying to get our crazy laws changed, but yet I'm doing it within the guidelines of what our Constitution says that we have to do.
Now, has it been difficult adjusting to 22, almost 23 years later in life?
Yes, it has. It's really been, it's shocking. For one thing, you walk out after 22 years and everything changes. You don't realize it. You know, from inside looking on the news channels and things like that, you hear of a few things here and there, but it's not really reality until you walk out into it and then you start really seeing it. And it was totally shocking, let alone looking for work and things like that. It's a whole different world out here.
It is, and you've been able to, in all of these travels, been able to find some work?
Yeah, I do a little construction work, but I was in construction before I got into trouble, and everybody knows the type of work I do around Sedalia there, so I'm not really lacking for work.
What would be the single biggest shock, if there is one, about serving more than 2 decades in maximum security prison and then walking out to freedom?
Of course, the family being grown up was a pretty good shock. See how things were, these cell phones. But in reality, I think first place I went was Las Vegas. I went out there for a expo. Mm-hmm. And I walk in and here's a bunch of businessmen and women sitting in suits and ties and dressed real nice, talking, and you go around the corner and you look and everybody's got a joint. Everybody's smoking one. Of course, it was legal there.
Right.
You know, and I was just totally amazed because in my day, if you had one, you'd better be around the corner hiding somewhere or in a house somewhere.
And you just walked out of, once again, prison for 22 years
for
that same thing, and now people are doing it out in the open.
Right, and I mean, police officers, they're actually helping them light it. You know, I mean, my jaw had to drop open.
I think viewers have a very big question of thinking, and it's, I think, an acceptable thought, that the first thing you want to do is smoke a doobie as soon as you get out. But that's not the case with you, you've told me.
No, like I said, if it were legal here in Missouri and federally, yes, I would love to because I know how it helps. I've known that for years. But I said I wasn't going to, and I haven't. But that don't mean I can't enjoy watching somebody else enjoy themselves or heal themselves, take away their pain or the sickness that they have.
You've mentioned that to me before. You've also mentioned that you would rather see people be drug-free if that's a possibility.
Exactly. I do not do any drugs. I very rarely even do an aspirin.
Wow.
Okay. That don't mean with my back. I got a lower back problem that I would enjoy doing it. It would help. But I can do without it. It's just movement is more important to me than me having to roll one up and burn one or eat it, either way.
Right.
But like I say, I'd rather, let's take a child for instance, and I've said this before, I would rather not see that child on any drugs whatsoever, including aspirins. But I don't want to see that child going up the street with a needle and a bag of heroin. I'd much rather see her walking down the street, or he or she with a joint than heroin. Granted, I don't think that's right neither, but it's a lot lesser evil for a child to do.
So your basic argument is stay off drugs, but also to the government be reasonable.
They're working to fight some of this major bad drug. Some of these barbiturates, some of this heroin that the people are on, some of these hard drugs that are actually killing them.
Even pharmaceuticals that are used illegally.
Pharmaceuticals are. When's the last time you were able to look at a commercial that didn't have a paragraph next to it? Watch out for your kidney, look out for your liver, this, that, the other. I mean,
right.
Most of the time I laid in prison, looked at that and said, damn, I'd rather keep the disease. Excuse the language.
A couple years ago, I was sitting with you inside maximum security prison at Jefferson City Correction Center.
Yes.
And I said that one day it would be nice if I could actually have you in the studio on the set as my guest on This Week. And here you are a couple years later. And Jeff Mizanskey, it has been an honor, and I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your sharing the story and your honest reporting.